Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Dice here, and this is just basically going to be a continuation of the last video on how your family holds you back. So this one's got a little bit more notes in it. It might take a little bit longer, but hopefully you've got a fucking attention span so that we can actually unwire a lot of this negative thought processes that you actually picked up from your family so that you can go further and you can go after your purpose and go after your dreams. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, then I want you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and stay tuned because I've got plenty more videos coming out on this sort of content. All right, so continuing on from the previous video, your family has like an unintelligent people have this thing that's called simplification bias, okay? Which is basically simplifying anything that would take too long for them to understand into easily digestible chunks so that they don't feel like an idiot and their ego is maintained. That's essentially what it is, okay? So I'm not going to go too far into it, but what I'd like to do is just maybe give you a quick example on how this is actually how your family has been conditioned to be into this type of mentality. I love to use, oh my God, the example of the game show, The Chase. Okay, so if you're not familiar with The Chase, it's basically just like they ask a random question, something like how many rivets are in the Eiffel Tower, something that you really don't need to know. And then there's like 3 options, okay? And then you got to like pick the best option, and obviously you like get a price or some bullshit. Anyway, that's the more questions that you get correct on random topics that have nothing to do with your success, you win the game. So, oh my God, there's some booty around here. It's insane. Anyway, so the simplification bias is this mentality that there's only ever 3 different options to actually, and there's always like a simple solution to a problem or a simple thing to a question. And over a period of time, this starts to condition the mind to think that there could never be 2 conflicting ideas. It's too much for the brain to handle if there's 2 conflicting ideas. There's never in a situation where there's actually 2 conflicting ideas, and that could be okay. So what happens is there's like the brain constantly tries to find a solution for the problem in a short and efficient way so that the ego is maintained so that they win at the game and thus win at life. Excuse me, and win at life. So like this is how they start to like condition their mind on the whole like mediocrity to being mediocrity being the default. Okay, these little things like trivia and game shows and like low attention span thinking is slowly lulling them, and then they have to splurge all that verbal diarrhea on you, and you soak it up, and you think that if you don't blend into these ideas, you're not going to have a family anymore. And it's true, you're probably not going to have a family anymore. So let's dive into this a little bit more, okay? You need to understand your parents were mediocre by default, okay? They raised you with their best intentions in mind, you know, with the knowledge and the tools that they had at their disposal. You know, they tried their best. They really tried their best, but it's on you to go to the next level. This was the default way to go, okay? You inherently pick up thought processes and habits from your parents. That's fact. But what you may understand or they may not understand is like the stuff that got them success in the 70s, 80s, or however old your parents are, is no longer applicable to the way the world is now, okay? Perfect example is like compound interest, okay? Back in the day, it was good for them to like, you know, save all their money, dump it into a savings account and earn 6 to 10% interest on it, and then use that to eventually retire or put in other investments. That doesn't work anymore. We're going to a situation where like there's less than 1% interest to put money in the bank. So all the like structures in their head on like how to save money and how to make money is completely wrong. So those mentalities that are like they're trying to, so if you go to your parents for like financial advice, I hope you don't, but let's say you do, the information that you're getting from your family is completely wrong and is actually sending you in the wrong direction. And you can't, it's up to you to actually go and seek out mentors, go and seek out the correct information so that you don't end up in the shitty situation that your parents may or may not be in. So you never want to take advice of someone that does not have what you want, and also be very weary of taking advice from somebody hasn't been staying on the cutting edge of ideas, and it's been a very long time since they've actually walked that path and have been in that path themselves. So an example that I would use is like, I love Grant Cardone, okay? Grant Cardone got his successes 20, 30, 40 years ago. So on one hand, it's great to get information from him. It's great to understand like how he got his successes, his energy, and his understandings of the world. And on one hand, he has actually like kept his sword sharp to be like a very good entrepreneur. But on the other hand, if you buy into this whole idea that you call your fucking future wife 13 times over 13 months or whatever, you'll get the cops called on you. The world doesn't work like that anymore, okay? So like, just because it worked for him 30 years ago or 20 years ago or whatever, does not mean that it's going to work for you. The world is changing so fast, and there's also a lot of value to get from people that are still like learning, that has only been, you know, 3 to 5 years since they've actually gone through what it is that you want to learn. So it's kind of like understanding these two ideas and bring them together so that you can build a roadmap for you. So yeah, basically what I want to get there is like, you want to be very careful about where you get your ideas from, and make sure you're not getting information from people that are not qualified. So poverty and poor thinking is the default. You got to have a look around, okay? Here, maybe a little bit less poverty, but certainly like in small country towns and like on the edge of cities, it's just an absolute mess, okay? So to combat this sort of like level of thinking that you're sort of like being lulled into your brain, you need to set clear boundaries, okay? This might mean not meeting up with your family for Christmases. This might mean not going to every single birthday party. This might mean not fucking having like a barbecue with your family and like trying to blend in all the time. You need to sort of realize that, you know, if you want to go after the things that are important to you, you actually want to go after success and want to be a lot more clear on what your purpose is, you're going to need to think outside the box, and you're going to have to distance yourself from certain levels of thinking. It's going to be painful, I know, but hopefully through these videos you'll understand why it's so important to eradicate a lot of these thought processes from your mind. You got to stop the madness. You think this is like disrespectful and you're not going to be able to blend in, and you're like, oh, you're going to offend your father, oh, you're going to offend your mother, oh, you're going to offend your brother and sister. Well, you know, you really got to ask yourself, what are your goals, okay? Like, how bad do you want this? You know, you've only got so many moments in your life. Do you want to spend these moments with your life with people that are not going, that unconsciously don't actually have your best interest in mind? Obviously not. So I'll wrap with this, okay? If you're at a stage where in your life where you realize, I need to build out a new family, I need to build out a new sense of friends, I need better mentors, I need better ideas fueled into my brain, then I want to help you with this, okay? So reach out to me on Instagram. You and I can have a chat and see if we're actually a good fit to work with each other. And if we are, by all means, we can like go through and start the mentorship. I'd love to be able to help you with this sort of stuff. You know, but if you're not ready, that's completely fine. But if you like this sort of content, I really appreciate it if you hit the like button and hit the subscribe button on this YouTube channel, just so that you can get like updated on any